ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the channel. Today I'm starting a new series called Crimes Against Tanks. If you like the content, please like and subscribe and leave a comment. Now let's get on to the video. In this series, we'll be looking at vehicles that have been booted by Gaijin so bad it should be a war crime, and tanks that are so overpowered and broken that they commit war crimes against other tanks. This is Crimes Against Tanks. In this episode, I'll be talking about the M4A3E2 Sherman, or better known as the Jumbo Sherman, and I'll be focusing on the 75mm version because the 76mm version has many of the same problems as the 75mm. So you might be wondering, why am I starting this series off with this tank? Well, because this tank went from a monster, or basically being a war crime committing tank, to having war crimes committed against it. This tank originally started at 4.7 or 5.0 when I started playing it. Can't remember, it's been a while. And it's now been moved up all the way to 5.7. Many of you playing at this BR, or have played this BR in the past, would remember that the Jumbo was basically a monster. The poor 4.0s and 4.3s you were facing couldn't really do much against it. And you can just one-tap them with your APHE. And you could also do the same sort of with Tigers, when you hit the barrel, hit the tracks, move close and then hit them from the side, because you couldn't pin them frontally. Panthers basically the same. And that was kind of either broken or sort of balanced. So in a down tier you were a monster, facing poor tanks that can't pin you, and you be able to hit them in one shot. And in up tiers being able to at least hold your own and survive most of the time. To now going to a tank at 5.7, facing King Tigers and IS-2s, which can pin you frontally from far distances. Like I've been killed by King Tigers frontally in the Jumbo from 2 kilometers away. No problem. You didn't even have to aim for my weak spot, it just hit center mass, boom, I'm dead. Basically the same with the IS-2. Remember, this 75mm gun is found on a 3.7 tank, 3.7 Sherman. Probably there's also a lower tier tank with this same gun, I think. Like I think it's the M7 or M3 75mm gun motor carriage. It's a low tier anti-tank gun on a half track. But basically this gun now is being used all the way up at 5.7 against tanks with at least 120-ish to 200mm of armor. Okay? So how are you going to do anything against them? Not even from a close range could you kill them, but they can pick you off from a far distance. This tank used to be a monster. When you were in a full down tier facing like 4.0s or something like that, you would basically be able to kill everyone with ease and they cannot kill you. They always had to aim for your weak spot, the whole machine gun port, but you just basically point and clicked at them and you could pick them apart with your fast 75mm. But other tanks like the Storer Emil or Decker Max with their big anti-tank guns could still pin you through the front. And then when you were in an up tier facing Tiger 1s and Panthers, you still had a great chance, but you had trouble pinning them. The Tiger you couldn't pin really from the front unless you were using APCR or point blank with the APHE. So the tactic was with the Jumbo, which many of us know as Jumbo tactic. You shoot the barrel and shoot the tracks of the tank you cannot pin frontally, disable them, and then get around to the side and finish them off then. That was the only basic way you could use the Jumbo, and it worked very effectively. And then when they moved it up to 5.3, I thought, okay, yeah, makes sense. The poor 4.0s couldn't really do much against you. 4.3s had better guns, could kill you basically better, and if they hit you in the whole machine gun port, then they would die, then the Jumbo would die fairly easily. Thought, fine, okay, that makes sense. But then when it got moved up to 5.7, now you're facing King Tigers and Tiger 2s most of the time, and you basically cannot pin them unless you're maybe from behind or at the side, which is kind of sad. And this vehicle isn't fast, and at that point your protection means nothing. like most vehicles will be able to penetrate you and kill you in one hit. This is why I decided to do this tank first, because it went from a tank committing war crimes to being booted by Gaijin and having war crimes committed against it. It used to be a monster able to murder a lot of people and basically not be able to die, to going to a tank that dies immediately when something just looks at it. The only vehicles that you could kill at this BR are way faster than you and have better guns than you, so they can go around, flank, get a good position, and then once you eventually arrive at the battlefield, because guess what, the Shermans aren't known for their speed, you will arrive there late and the enemy will just be able to shoot you because they are laying and waiting for you, and then you die probably in one hit, or maybe in a few others if they can't aim, or if their round isn't that strong, but still they can always just flank around and hit you from the side. Then you've traveled all that time, spent all that effort for basically nothing, and then being sent back to the hangar. The weak spot of the Jumbos is also so well known now, thanks to many content creators, that people had also started putting on bushes and other decorations over the machine gun port. But Gaijin made it so you cannot put anything really over it unless you find some way that it overlaps there and doesn't obstruct it, even though the machine gun port there doesn't work. That was basically only the way you could defend yourself if people were just shooting you in the weak spot. But guess what, that makes people aim there even more, because why would you put any camouflage or concealment type of thing at a place if it's not a weak spot? You would regularly put stuff like that at a weak spot, so people will shoot you there anyway, and most of the time they will hit you and kill you in one hit. That is why this tank, to me at least, is a tank that has been booted by Gaijin and is a struggling thing to play. In a full down tier, you will still be doing pretty well, because people will still struggle to hit you, and of course at this BR it is newer players. But in a full up tier you will struggle, and it is a painful experience. Thanks for watching till the end of the video. Like, comment and subscribe if you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.